Ethan, you're on.
Hi, Governor Johnson. It's Ethan from Pennsylvania. I, like a lot of people who have been following your campaign, am a Ron Paul supporter, and I'm just wondering if you could tell me what, if any, differences there are in your platform versus the Good Doctor.
Well, I think, first of all, I think we're both delivering the same message, that it is about the message. It's not about the messenger, and I'm sure Dr. Paul would agree with that. The difference is, I guess, I am not a social conservative. I think that Dr. Paul is. And I think when it comes to resume, just the fact that the difference between a congressman, where Dr. Paul has registered some very principled no votes over the years, been the only no vote in Congress. I've probably vetoed 100 pieces of legislation, did veto 100 pieces of legislation in New Mexico, where the vote in the legislature was 117-0, and the administrative reality of dealing with that as opposed to a principled no vote from Congress, quite different. But I don't know if the platforms really differ that much. It is about the message, and I've always maintained that if people in this country could hear it in stereo as opposed to monotone, maybe it would gain a little more traction. I wish, apparently, the powers to be have decided that this should only be a monotone coming from the stage, when I think it goes way beyond stereo. I think this is the growing segment of the Republican Party and the sentiment of the country, and that ultimately we will see change. But I was asked to endorse Dr. Paul in 2008. I did that, and let's see these issues advance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Governor, you're not going to tell folks this, and they need to hear this, is that when you did speak at the RNC in October this autumn, and of course you were the one that was giving the speech, so you weren't sitting in the audience where I was, but the applause were tremendous. What was impressive and frustrating at the same time were the comments about how salient and on point you were, and it's a shame that that was such a closed audience. I mean, those were your folks who either had positions in the party or were big donors to the party, and it was commented there. I am aware that there were those in leadership that made a point to tell others that your words that were shared before everyone that night, before the RNC, should be in a broader audience. So it was again a joy to hear you, but also frustrating at the same time that we knew it was close quarters.
Well, I appreciate that, Clarke. A text question from Ed is if Ron Paul wins the nomination, would you accept being the VP nominee? Actually, I believe Ron Paul has gone on record saying that his VP choice would be a pro-life candidate. Fundamentally, I believe in a woman's right to choose, and I respect anyone with a socially conservative agenda. I think the way you change people's lives is by living your life by example, and that's how you change other people's lives. But I think when you have government passing laws as to how you and I should live our lives, I think we find ourselves criminally liable for the way we live our lives, and that should be the last thing that government gets itself involved in. So I think Ron Paul himself has said that I'm not qualified to be VP because of my pro-choice stance.